All right. It is time for game 4, the final game of this week's iCast, your freaking awesome replays. It is the social distancing challenge, where players had to leave a base gap between each of their expansions. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, named Heisenberg, but playing Protoss. It is Walter White. Heisenberg. Upper in the top left, representing Taste the Bacon, it is Jack the Funk. Oh look, there's me face on some bacon. Isn't that nice? In-game audio was off. I was like, seems oddly quiet, doesn't it? There we go. So it's going to be a PvP. Hidden bases are actually pretty good in this matchup, dude. This could be pretty good. I wonder if they're both playing it. Right back at you. Jack the Funk said, the good luck, have fun thing. So Jack the Funk says, I meant good luck, have fun too, sir. I see. Says, okay, that's a real weird early game interaction, isn't it? It's a weird one. Have you guys ever had a conversation with someone who is literally on another like spectral plane of existence? You guys ever talk to someone who is clearly blitzed out of their mind on chemicals? 'Cause I think that's the sort of interaction that happens usually. Like you're like, someone's like, and you too, good sir. And you're like, it's the first thing they say to you, and you're like, I think most people miss out because they think, oh shit, this is scary, and they then don't make eye contact with that person and just walk. They walk quicker and put their head down. I will advise all of you, trust me, you can have a better life experience, make eye contact and engage. As long as you're in a well-lit public space where you're not worried about getting stabbed. As long as that, don't, some like really skinny person who can't defend themselves, some giant dude is like, hey baby, whoa, why'd you steal my marbles or something? And like, they're like, oh, hello, sir. I did not steal your marbles. What are you talking about with aforementioned marbles? And they're like, you're like, okay, maybe that, like in a dark alleyway, you probably should just keep walking. But anyways, just saying some of the best, back and forth conversations you can ever have, because you really do feel like you're doing like a Ouija board. It's that sort of level, like communication, where you're like, whoa, what's your name? And they're like, oh, Marshmallow Fluff. And you'll be like, okay, what? It teaches you to communicate without really communicating with anybody. It's kind of like, I think it trains you actually to fight off BM, because you want to take that sort of conversational manner and then you want to apply that to people who are shit talking you in video games. Like that's always my defense mechanism, you guys will notice, where I'm like, someone's like, get cancer and die. And I'm like, but what about potatoes? And they're like, it always like it glitches their brain. And they'll be like, oh, go fuck yourself or something, And you'll be like, well, I don't know where I would fuck a potato, but maybe broccoli. And they'll be like, they'll be like, what the fuck is he talking about? When people are trying to shit talk you, there is no better defense than communicating as if you are some sort of crazy dude on the subway or like, in a dark alley or on the street corner. He's like, accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Jesus, yeah. And you're like, oh, you know what? Like, what do you think about, and you like quote some part of the Bible to them, trying to like start some sort of discussion. And they're like, they just look at you sideways and they're like, did the rabbit man tell you to say that? That's the sort of shit, guys. If someone tries to shit talk you on ladder, ask them about Cactus Jesus, talk about the Rabbit Man. Like there's a lot of options available. I'm just saying you can learn a lot from people who may be currently existing on a different plane of existence. It's a way of shutting down angry people. They don't know, because they want to bring you down to their level. That's like essentially what all bad manner and rage is about, right? It's about people trying to get you as upset, mad, angry, and pissed off about how shit your situation is as they are, right? So the way you automatically win that situation is you make it impossible for them to do that. Like they can't even, because they want to bring you to their level of experience, and you make it so impossible by not even being possible to communicate with. You're just like, nah, well, I don't know, man, because like I thought that if I could go skydiving during my first novel, I might be able to save paper, but then There was the phone book listing. And because of the phone book listing, I had to actually go camping. You just string parts of sentences together that make no sense, man. There's no way for them to respond to it. You know, sometimes it solves it as well. Sometimes they're really angry. A minute into that sort of back and forth, they get really happy. They suddenly like, oh, this is so ridiculous. And I'm so unable to spread this toxicity that instead they're like, cool, let's just be a little bit insane like this person I'm talking to. And it actually can work quite well. Speaking of working quite well, takes the third base, builds a shield battery there. Heisenberg doesn't give a fuck and is actually up 5 workers. And I think Jack the Funk is like, because wouldn't you be having an aneurysm? You see this, you're like, Jack the Funk has got a deal right now with an opponent who is just playing ridiculous. Why did you take your third there? The thing is, we get so used to looking at things through the lens of the current builds. This means this, this means this, this means this, right? Oh, I saw an early Twilight and a Robo, he's doing a Charge Immortal all in, just because that's the popular build on the ladder right now, right? But then you play someone who just does something so fundamentally different, like taking their natural at their third base. And you're like, there's got to be for some silly all-in. Is it TTs? Is it just disruptors? What's happening? What's happening, you know? So Jack the Funk's probably got that racing through there. Look at this. Is on 4 gas, but hasn't even saturated the natural. And is doing what appears to be a 4-gate charge lot attack. This is like a really bizarre attack, which should be super mineral focused, but it's gone up to this crazy amount of gas. You know, you could tell Jack the Funk's like, what's happening? And doing an attack without a warp prism to reinforce as well is now going up to 8 gateways in the Templar Archives, but remember, is way undersaturated on 2 base. This attack needs to do some damage. Now, Heisenberg has a lot of Blink Stalkers. Blink Stalkers are not the best versus Zealots, but ooh, you know what? As long as you micro them well, don't let those Immortals land too many hits. You can pick off these Zealots away from the rest of the army. That can work really well. Uh-oh. That cannon did add a lot. There's no more batteries left. I think the idea is if these Stalkers can just keep picking off units and falling backwards, it's very hard to ever break a Blink Stalker defense. Ooh, uh-oh. Okay, those Zealots are doing a lot of damage on the right-hand side. One Immortal does go down. That Guardian Shield is really paying off in a big way. I think the lack of a warp in point, though, is going to hurt Jack the Funk. Heisenberg's like, heck yeah, we just defended that base. 42 probes versus 37 is up a handful of workers, and Jack the Funk, I think, could have maybe broken it there with a decisive attack, but instead, floating 1100 gas, not probing, is going for a third base, and is kind of only now getting into those Archons, but I think a little bit too late. And remember, Stalkers kick the shit out of Archons due to their short range. Archons really good at killing enemy Zealots, but not that good against other stuff. Heisenberg goes into a second Robo and a Robo Bay, and social distancing goes down to the bottom left-hand corner of the map. A very good choice. Now, the Observer, I think, saw the probe, but wouldn't be guessing that there's a third base down there. And Jack the Funk still behind economically a little bit here. And Heisenberg's just playing like Blink +2. It's just playing a pretty standard style. This is actually really cool. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to play some pretty standard, pretty high level. I would say this is Diamond 1. What do you guys think? Diamond 1? I think it's about Diamond 1. With Heisenberg's macro being pretty on point. Hitting a very slight supply block now, but he's already got those pylons halfway done, so not a big deal. I think Jack the Funk is having a few more brain herniations right now, trying to figure out kind of what's going on in this game, and is definitely in danger of getting out-microed by the mass blink. I actually really wish Heisenberg just picked up the Immortals and went and did an Immortal drop elsewhere while the Stalkers harassed the front, because I don't think you want to commit to a massive engage. That's really scary with pure blink. But I think the idea of like harassing with the Stalkers, dropping with the Immortal, picking away at your opponent with your mobility is really good. The thing is, the Immortals can't really retreat very well, and that is a problem. Heisenberg just bully moding though. Ooh, you know what? +1 versus no upgrades, but yeah, that's a lot of Archon Immortal, dude. You do not want to be fighting that. Oh no, the Prism. Yeah, Heisenberg here. Uh-oh. You know what? Jack the Funk took a bit of a dodgy engage on the other side of the map. Heisenberg says, now it's my turn, mother trucker. Is going to try to make the most out of this terrible situation he's found himself in. He's going to go for the third Nexus. Those Zealots, though, what are they doing? Oh, no. The Stalkers are going for the Nexus snipe. I don't think they're going to get it. Remember, there's only 4 gateways for Heisenberg right now. Oh, he's going to get the third. Oh, okay, get out, get out, get out. Dude, Heisenberg just lost like 15 Stalkers and 3 or 4 Immortals. and 4 zealots for like a nexus and a few zealots is going to try to buy time, which is a good call. And Jack the Funk just needs to warp in a bunch of units to deal with that. He's going to warp in a few zealots, but one of them does die before it even warps in, but charge is there, which is of course going to help Jack the Funk zealots. They will win that fight. The Stalkers rotate around and they come back in. Oh, Heisenberg is like, I got nothing at home. I need to keep my opponent pinned back while I rebuild. And you know what? Jack the Funk wisely is not going to let that happen. Oh man, these Stalkers. Oh, they do. Oh, no overcharge on that Nexus. That's a shame. Or on that battery, I should say. 4 Immortals here. Yeah, if they get back to the high ground and fight up here, they could do very well. Heisenberg's going to try to come down and fight. The Zealots are going to jump on those Stalkers, doing some decent damage. Battery does okay, but ooh, the Immortals need to get out of there, man. Ow, the Stalkers aren't even helping them out. I think they took out 1 Archon, and they will get a second one. But there's no cannons or anything. Those Stalkers do end up defeating the Zealots up there. Some Disruptors try to start up. Stalkers and the Immortal and the Probes against Archons. Oh, God. God, don't do that. No. Ow, ow. Archons love fighting stacked up workers, dude. That splash damage. They have an absolute party there. These Immortals and Archons coming forward. Can the Stalkers get that 1 Immortal? No, it survives on 1 hit point and then gets recalled. I think Jack the Funk could have defended with just Zealot Warpins, to be honest, but it's going to pull home there. I think may have actually been on the cusp of victory. As it is, as long as he can defend this 3rd Nexus, should be okay. But remember that Heisenberg does have the +2 advantage and has 2 balls. And honestly, that's what these players have really been missing in this game so far. It's just having a big set of big glowy ones, you know? I feel both players have taken offensive fights, which have kind of thrown away some advantages. And now we see that Heisenberg is like, nah, it's okay. I've got a firm set between my main and my natural. This is the undercarriage of the Protoss. He says, you know, it's going to give me some strength, some confidence. And there's always the opportunity, if your opponent oversteps their territory, that you could just explode on their face with these balls. So we'll see how Heisenberg plays it out. Adding more Immortals is going to add a DT Shrine, a very good choice. A cannon down here, extra gateway. Still doesn't have very many gateways, but does have that corner base up. While this base is still only just rebuilding, Jack the Funk, going for a more Archon Immortal Stalker focused style, is now adding the very first Forge, so way behind on upgrades, but is going to try to slowly catch up on that. Templar Archives going down. Archon's, of course, one of the meatiest ways to spend your gas, deal with the enemy Zealots. Man, there's a lot of Archons there. What is that? 4 Immortals as well. That 1 hit point Immortal with 12 kills still alive. A 7 kill, 9 kill Immortal. Dude, this is a good army from Jack the Funk. It's a big army. I think if Jack goes now, Jack will probably win the game, but you'll notice that Jack has been really blind on the map. I feel like Heisen's been a lot more active this whole time, whereas Jack has kind of just been chilling in this side of the map. Because of that, Heisenberg has made some really good little harassments, little tactical maneuvers, and it looks like he's ready to expand once again. And I think this is honestly just the way. I think it's the people here who are like, nah, fuck distancing. Look at this, like a closed off worldview. No vision, no understanding how the blue Protoss actions affect the rest of the world. Meanwhile, a good, respectful, towing the line Zerg, a Protoss, or Heisenberg, a Protoss player, spreading the bases out, maintaining that distancing, and building a highly militarized force to, enforce his way of life on the other Protoss. And that's a way of doing it, I think. Archon Disruptor, Immortal Stalker Ball, sick upgrades, bigger guns. To be fair, Heisenberg isn't really scouting at this point either, so a bit of a narrow worldview at this point. But earlier, much more probing, poking, and prodding. Jack the Funk still just building mass Immortal Archon. Is now going for a second Forge. Oh my, double Forge? Double Forge mass A-move units. I'll tell you what, this army is just so dense. It will fudge up Stalkers, Zealots, and the lower Immortal Archon count. Heisenberg's really got to rely on these balls, and has added a third one there. Heisenberg, of course, a big fan of the 3 Titty Girl from Total Recall on Mars. Is like, yep. So, has gone for his own version there with the triple disruptor, not just the double. Some would say an advantageous mutation to have a few more boys swimming around there. A few more explosions, potentially. He's going to come forward here. Sentries warping in for Jack the Funk. Now, that's not going to help against disruptors. Oh, no. Oh, DTs, though, could be good. There is an observer here, but I don't know if there's any detection at home, dude. There's no cannons. If those DTs go across the map, they could win. Ooh, but they don't run through the army. No, they're gonna run through the army. He sent him to, he doesn't know he's there. Oh, what a piece of bad luck. Jack the Funk. And you know what? DT's just whooped in for Heisenberg as well. Uh-oh. Dude, those DTs could have gone and won the game. There's only one cannon there. And there's only one observer with the army. Uh-oh. What is this? Jack's looking for a surround. He's seeing the disruptors. He knows flanking will be a good idea. But one side's coming in way too early. Good pullback, though. Already dodged one disruptor shot. He's going to go for it. A big ball lands. Oh, my God. Oh, the next one only clips the single immortal. But the DTs of Heisenberg are tearing up the left-hand side. The observer was way too slow to come in here for Jack the Funk. And I think Jack the Funk's observer actually got sniped there by Heisenberg. Heisenberg's DTs. Oh my God. Oh my God. GG, well played, great match. Jack the Funk takes that one in stride. I want to show you guys that last fight one more time. Watch what happens here as he comes in for it. So check this out. Let's get to that fight. So the only observer is here for Jack the Funk. And remember, the top side engages first. And there is 4 DTs. Look how far behind these observers are. Jack the Funk does bring 2 observers in. They're way behind. So it starts looking okay, but look at how much damage these DTs are going to do. So obviously a big disruptor shot, one more disruptor shot. Not the best on the second one. It only clipped a single... Oh no, the disruptor died. It didn't even go off. But the observers come in late, these DTs, and then even when they come in, they get killed immediately. 1 observer, 2 observers go down, and the DTs are all still alive. 2 of them come down. An absolutely devastating engage. Woo! GG. Well played. Very nicely done there by Heisenberg. Excuse me. Jack the Funk, I think, a bit unlucky. If those DTs made it across the map without getting spotted, we could have had a really interesting base trade scenario where I think Heisenberg may have died there. But nonetheless, GG, well played. Guys, don't forget your replays in for next week's ICYFAR. It is the Showoff Challenge, where, of course, players have to make as many upgrades as possible and bonus points for using as many of those as much as you can. As always, the funnest, most back and forth or interesting and unique games will be picked, and get those in as quickly as possible, as we've only got a few days left on that. Guys, don't forget to check out the Patreon and support, like all of these lovely names over here on the wall of bacon, absolute connoisseurs, especially Maxan and Vivek. Patreon is linked below in the description. You can get on board to get things like early access to the Florencio files, get your name shouted out here up on the wall of bacon, and access to the monthly Bacon Arcade streams. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next ICYFAR. Goodbye and good night.